Hey, 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 welcome back. Welcome back to the Scorpio channel. My name is Laura. If you're new to the channel, I'm going to do a general message for Scorpio. Know that energy is fluid, roles could be reversed. Interpret the message as it best resonates with you. Also know on this channel, I like to look at everything, but we take a lot more time to look at the spiritual blocks, the shadows, see how they play out as karmic themes to help you understand why your person's doing what they're doing, why you're attracting this person into your life, and what you can do to shape shift the energy, because there's many different realities that play out at one time. So your awareness allows you to make better choices. That's why. All right. Now, if you want to enter into winning a free reading with me, you obviously have to be open to getting a shadow reading. You have to like the video. You have to subscribe to the channel, write the word of the video in your comment bar. Again, that first card out is the underlining energy that tells us why everyone's doing what they're doing. Sometimes I pull two cards, but you don't have to write both cards. All right, let's see what is going on. See, I wanted to actually do it a little bit different too. I want to see the underlying energy, but we also want to see where this person is right now. And then we're going to backtrack and actually see what they did. We're going to do it just a little bit different. Sometimes I like to switch it up, the energy up just a little bit. So let's just see. All right, let's see what the word of the video is. It's hostility. Good thing because I feel like I got that word yesterday. I just don't know whether I got it on this channel or not. But again, hostility. And it's not uncommon for like people to still hold the same energy, like for a few days. We don't just get over things that fast. A lot of times we stay angry because it takes us a long time to look at the situation from a different perception. We're usually stuck. We're stuck in the consequences of whatever we did. We don't know what we did. We don't know what the actual underlining reason is. So again, hostility and unlocked DNA. So I'm laughing just because unlike DNA, the way that you unlock DNA is through unconditional love. It's through healing yourself because everything happens in the spiritual realm long before it happens in the physical realm. So we're dealing with a past life karmic mate, again, spiritual connection to heal spiritual wounds. So again, the unlocked DNA is because there is unconditional love. However, in order to unlock the DNA, there's a lot of spiritual blocks that need to be integrated. And that's why there's still a lot of hostility because I feel like the person that's connected to you, keep getting in their own way. And I feel like you get in your own way. And I feel like you're both holding on to a cognitive dissonance, which is I want this connection, but I also don't want this connection. And I don't want this connection because of all past experiences. And this person says, I don't know if I want this connection because of all my past experiences, not even an experience with you, where I feel like you're like, every time I've dealt with this person, they do nothing but really just waste my time because the relationship never goes anywhere. They get in their own way all the time. So, again, that's why there's a lot of hostility where I think for a while you thought that this person was malicious. And I think in the beginning they might have been a little bit malicious, but I also feel like this person just has a lot of self-sabotaging behaviors, which happens when you inherit ancestral karma, family karma. There's beliefs that you're not deserving of love. So you've been in separation from this person for a long time, and for a long time you felt like this person didn't really react or respond. They show absolutely nothing, nor here nor there. So again, the reason why is because they detach. So it doesn't mean that they don't know what happened, but a person can detach and disassociate as a way of a trauma response. So I feel like again, there's a lot of spiritual blocks, and what happens is whenever we get really angry, we are no longer in consciousness. We are no longer present. So again, I feel like this person, like in order to deal with their anger, the hostility, they escape, right? Because what does a person do after a while? They're like, I'm so stressed out, give me a drink. Or just give me a joint. I don't want to remember the day. They want to escape. It's like because it's like they hold on to a cognitive dissonance, which is I do love you, but whatever I do, you're not happy with. It's like I feel like they're projecting a lot of what has happened in the past, with how other people have dealt with them, is how they're dealing with you. They're actually projecting a lot of their wounds. So you may say, I'm not doing anything. You don't need to do anything. All you need to say is, are we going to go to dinner or am I going to see you tomorrow? Are you going to call me? Can I text you? You can say, and this person will look at it like you're telling them what to do. And it's because they tend to not be fully present in their relationships. So it's not that they're not smart, they're very intelligent, but when it comes to love, they have a lot of wounds. They get a lot of anxiety. It creates a lot of hostility. They are no longer in consciousness. They don't think, they're not present. And so what you're getting is you're getting somebody that continually self-sabotages the connection. This person needs like CBT, which is like a cognitive healing modality. I teach it in my coaching course. It's again, this person needs to do it. However, the universe also conspires to bring everyone healing all the time. That's why the relationships are karmic. And I say that because we see this universal panacea. What is this? This is a magic pill. There is no such thing as a magic pill. What's a magic pill? Something that cures everything. And Spirit says there is. And that's love, because love is God and love is universal energy, and it's the energy of the highest vibration. So when you're in the higher self, the God part of self, you're actually in the energy of unconditional love. It's when we get in our own way. So again, this person has a lot of triggers around love. And so every time they get in their own way, so they're not feeling that energy. So in order to heal, again, and upgrade DNA, we would have to heal all trauma around relationships. And it starts with the emotion, and the emotion is a gateway to healing, which again is that hostility. And I feel like you also have it too. And you might be like, yeah, but I have a reason, because they act narcissistic, where they always keep the relationship in a place of imbalance. They keep getting in their own way. That's why I wanted to look and really see where that I wanted to see where they are now. But I guess Spirit had a different idea, because it's like it went to like everything that they did, everything that they are, or maybe it's again, it's with their energy now. It's again, they are hostile, and they've been hostile, but they're hostile because again, of themselves, because it's like this is something that keeps happening. I don't really believe I can have love. So again, there's only two energies, love and fear. So what it is this person has a lot of fear around relationships because they don't really believe that they can have it. It come out as hostility. It comes out as anger, because anxiety looks a lot like anger sometimes. The person's so overstimulated. I get emotional when I think about you. Yeah, because it's like I can't make it work. I can't fix this. It's like, it's almost like imagine sitting down to a calculus test or a math test, and you're like a horrible math student. And you didn't study, because why the hell study? Because you weren't going to understand it anyway. And it comes time for the test. And your mother and father wanted to see that that test score. Well, that's what it feels like for this person. Now, if you're good at math, see it like English, or whatever it is that you weren't good at, you were being called to do. What happens? We get overstimulated. We go out of consciousness. It's a trigger. And that's why it's really important for people to heal. Again, otherwise the shadow continually will play out in every single relationship, unfortunately. So that's why this person has feelings, but we don't really see them doing anything. I feel like I can be my true self around you. So it's again when they're not getting in their own way. So, which again, when there's unconditional love, we can't be on our guard all the time. So you may be like, this person's like bipolar because sometimes they're nice and sometimes they're not nice. Well, sometimes this person is not as balanced as they should be, and they're feeling a little bit more insecure than other times. And you don't see that they're insecure. So your confidence can trigger this person. When meanwhile, you're not even trying to do that. It's, again, you're not inside this person's head. We see what we look for. We all do. So this person looks for the trauma, looks for the problem, looks for the issue. It's again, it's why they are able to make that self-fulfilling prophecy continue to loop, meaning it's karmic loop, the same situation, just different relationship, or the same relationship. It's the same scenarios that keep playing out, which is what makes this person really think, I can't have it. It's not a deserve. I'm not deserving. Just doesn't work out that way for me. And we can feel the anxiety, right? You inspire me in so many ways. See, it's like because I don't think that you went from a low vibration. See, that's the thing. You inspire this person because you just turned your back and continue to live. And I say that because we haven't looked at the behaviorisms yet, but we know gonna know that this person acted like an ass. It's like because they kept getting in their own way, self-sabotaging behaviorisms. It means that they are overcompensating to make you perceive that there's something that they're not. And that's how they, again, sabotage the connection. So again, we haven't seen it, but you weren't affected. See, this person wasn't able to manipulate you, is what I'm getting at, because the character is always in alignment with how this person really feels. And they don't believe that they can have love. So a person that doesn't believe that they can have love, doesn't love themselves, first of all. And so everything's going to be a trigger, but especially those things that we want, because there's a sense of I'm not deserving. There's a lot of shame there. I feel lost without you. So again, I feel like you cut your energy off from this person. And I feel like you had to though, because they weren't waking up. You were like, they were just continuing to do the same shit again. So you had to, and that's the problem with this type of energy. Either you have someone that's real insecure or you have someone self-righteous and cocky. You don't have any balance. That's why the relationship's always in a place of disequilibrium, because this person's not balanced, but they're not balanced because they don't love themselves. They don't love themselves because they're looking at themselves through their experiences that they lived, and they inherited trauma, because again, we wouldn't see so much karmic looping. So a person that grows up in a codependent household where there's a very toxic, mother and father, how they, dealt with each other, this is what is inherited. So because understand the parents couldn't give the child what they needed, what that child needed, because the parents were so consumed in themselves. So the dynamic is always the avoidant with someone that is emotionally not as fulfilled as they should be within their own life. And this is what creates the balance. So again, that disequilibrium is in balance. I can't stand the thought of you with someone else against you. We, of course, are going to see this because they're going to ruminate now because they're paranoid. They don't really believe that they're deserving. And then that the green little devil, that what do they say? There's a good guy and a bad guy. There's a devil and there's an angel and there's a monster, good monster and a bad monster. Like on each shoulder, that monster like tells this person like you're not really deserving, and this person you're going to find somebody else because they don't really love you, because you're not really deserving of love. And then they're also reflecting back on all the behaviorisms that they've done, because they also know, well, I wasn't really myself. So there is an element of guilt, and it's guilt because they say I didn't really give this a fair chance. We're going to look at the behaviors and we're going to see why this person's in separation from you. Is again fear of change. So again, and this person's intimidated a little bit by you. Like I said, I felt that. And it could just be that you give off a confidence. There's a sense that this person usually goes for lower hanging fruit, people that, they feel are a little bit better than them, which is, by the way, they don't have good relationships because people that they perceive are lower than them, this person wouldn't be able to tell unless they were really, really lower than them. And that those are people that love is transactional. Like if I'm going to be with you, you're going to give me X, Y, Z. It's not built on authentic connection, which gives this person the whole control. They have all control because emotionally they don't have to give nothing. Again, they're the avoidant. They don't really believe that they can have love, but understand what happens when you're with somebody and you take advantage of someone that's on a lower vibration, you're going to get retaliation. That person's going to believe there's an eye for an eye. They're not going to raise their consciousness and say, what can I have learned from this situation? No, they're going to say, how dare you betray me? And now I'm going to retaliate. So this person doesn't have good experiences on top of it, but mainly because of what they do. You can't be in a relationship detached. It means that you're like compartmentalizing and you're not building intimate connection. So what's happening now is that this person is like making them look at like this place of I'm in a place of lack, which is I don't have enough, I'm not good enough. So what happens with that? The person before they even come to you, they already think I'm gonna get rejected. So what do they do? What are they doing? I said, that's what we want to know. What are they doing? Again, they're drinking or they're just smoking. They're detached and disassociating. They're the avoidant. Remember, this is why they continue to uh, uh, create the same types of karmic loops, is what I'm trying to say. So that's why they're angry. And so when they're always in the place of anger, again, that's not abundance. So there's always going to be money matters. So the root of what they would really need to heal is they need to forgive themselves and they need to, again, forgive their parents and they need to forgive and really heal the trauma in order to it be in a successful relationship. It's not like this person doesn't have feelings for you. They do, is what spirit says. But that's what it looks like. And that's why it's karmic. And so we have to say, why did you attract this person into your life? So they're in their own way right now. And that doesn't mean that they won't be inspired like one day, but not today to take action. So again, the best that we can say is, why did I attract this person into my life if this is what it is? And spirit would say, uh, loner, part number one, optimism, part number two, what is this? Self-love, physical touch, uh, crafts and creativity, or thing, and gifts, and time and attention. What spirit says. All right. So anyway, but we didn't get all negative cards here. Actually, we got a few gifts because again, when we have not created ourselves fully, which again, we don't we don't create ourselves because we're stuck in the trauma. We're stuck in the past. We're stuck in an illusion. And that illusion could be, I don't have enough, I'm not good enough, whatever. But understand that something's in place of what's really there. And that's really the whole point of a shadow. Like a shadow could be you're holding on to shame. But again, you're an energy being. So if you take that shame away, what is there? Just emptiness? Well, Spirit says, no, you can't have that. Alchemy teaches us that. You have to transmute the negative energy. You just can't get rid of. There has to be something. So what we see is that you didn't get the time and attention, and really you were a loner. And so I feel like it's maybe that you didn't really have that many problems at home, but it was the way that you felt about yourself, that you were like felt like a sensitive person. And you just felt that that was like awkward. And even if you did grow up in a home where you were highly sensitive, well, again, sometimes our parents will be like, "Oh, don't be so emotional." They'll restrict, they try to protect us. They try and do certain things to make us not so sensitive because they know that the world is not going to care. So they want to toughen you up. And so sometimes it's the way that we overthink, the way that we internalize. Even if you're not sensitive, when you're a child, you're sensitive. So you just felt different. And so that sensitivity is kind of like empathy, right? So you just always felt different. And so you tended to enjoy a lot of alone time. You felt more comfortable being a loner. But in that, you also didn't, like, I feel like it was that way and that you are an empath or a sensitive person because you didn't get the emotional support that you needed. The emotional support is really the time and the attention, is the way that our parents show us, is that when we get nurtured, when we feel supported, but I feel like that really wasn't it's if your parents might have supported you, that wasn't the issue. It was again the way that you felt about yourself. So emotionally, you again didn't really feel safe to accept love. Sometimes that happens also with sensitivities, depending on the environment that you grew up in. And I say that only because about the sensitivity and the empathy, because we see creativity and we see crafts. Empaths are creative, they're creative beings, and they're here to give and receive of love. They're here to heal. And that's through, again, their own journey, usually. And what we see here is, again, you're a loner. And so it was about you giving yourself self-love. It's that you are optimistic. You've always been optimistic. And on this journey, you find your gifts, your spiritual gifts. So Spirit was saying, well, listen, you didn't really feel comfortable to use your voice growing up. A lot of sensitives don't because they're the squeaky wheel. They're again, the healer. They're the ones that are going to point out when something's a little off. They're the truth speaker. And, it triggers people. So it even triggers our parents. Sometimes they read it the wrong way. I also feel like being someone that's sensitive, we need more emotional support because there's so much internalizing. There's so much emotional stuff going on. And, highly sensitive people are healers because they look at things from every single direction and different perception. That's why they're able to intuit so good because they're looking at the whole. But in that, they're usually focusing on the outer and not internally. So you could have been, again, just that loner, but some of that love to help, love to, like, again, connect, but in your own way, where Spirit says you needed to give yourself the time and the attention. You needed to learn self-love because you didn't like who you were, which is a lot very common, like with highly sensitives when they're younger. It's that they feel different. They feel that they're just different. They feel things deeper. They notice things. Again, they get told that they're seen as, like, like you said, the squeaky wheel. So they become loners. but emotionally you didn't get what you needed. But during this time, really, Spirit says it was find your gifts because you didn't know what your gifts were because you didn't really put your time into any real thing. You had no hobbies. You had no interests. It was like you were a loner and you just would go out and venture onto your own and just possibly just be friends with people. Like if there was just a sense of just being a loner. Didn't mean that you didn't learn things, but it means that you didn't feel like you were really great at anything. And it's like because you didn't become yourself. You didn't discipline yourself enough because it wasn't the safety and the security, really. And that's perceived. It's not that there wasn't. You might say, well, I was just sensitive and I needed that emotional support and I didn't get it because, my parents wanted me to focus on school. They wanted me to focus on, it doesn't mean all the time that it was abuse. It means that the parents might have had the best intention, but their intention was created those spiritual blocks because they were projecting their situations, onto their children, meaning like if they went to school and they saw people graduated as a doctor or a lawyer, they say, that person's rich. You need to become a doctor or lawyer because that's what it was when they were growing up. Meanwhile, there's a lot of other professions that people make a lot more than doctors and lawyers. We know a lot of influencers that make a lot more money. So, but during their day, and so they project and they do it with the best intention, but it still creates a spiritual block because it's a perception that this is the way it needs to be, even if it doesn't feel right to the child. And if you're a truth speaker, it didn't feel right, but you would go along with it because, hey, this is what my parents want me to do. But then say, well, now I don't have any gifts and I don't really know why I'm here. And then spirit would say, but it's through your soul's path, and you'd say, I don't have one. And spirit says, yes, you do. You have to give that nurture yourself to find it. It's like join things, create, become yourself. You use your gifts. Again, it means that you're not giving yourself the self-love through the time and the attention to cultivate a passion in your life. And you're going to wind up giving too much to a person that's not deserving of it or isn't ready for it. And that's why you attracted this person into your life. Doesn't mean that they don't love. It means that they weren't ready for it. And Spirit says, and you're not ready for it either, because you're forgetting that piece of pie out of your pizza, because life needs to look like a pizza pie. There's time to work out, there's time for friends, there's time for work, there's time for this way you never give anyone too much. Spirit says, so where's that part of you? It's like that you actually aren't a loner, but you join things and through your passions and you create, then you meet people, authentic connections too, that are emotionally going to fulfill you, is what Spirit says. It's about aligning your heart with your actions first before you can attract someone into your life that's going to give you that, is what Spirit says. It's about, busting the chains, releasing the limiting beliefs that have held you back. It's about ascending life right now. And that's to let go of who you were, to step into who you need to be. And Spirit says that this time in separation, if you choose to get back with this person or this person comes back eventually, because there is love, they're just not in that place where they're ready. Well, Spirit says it's about you creating what you need to create because then you're going to meet different people. And if this person comes back into your life, they're going to have to work a little bit harder for it. And you don't know what that looks like until you actually have stepped into the new life and met a bunch of different people and are really pouring into yourself. This way, the person has to come in and show you that they care. Otherwise, you're going to say, I'm having too good of a time taking care of myself. I don't want to be in a relationship with you. You don't give anything. I can definitely feel the energy, and this person needs to do heal before they actually are in a relationship with you because they're just stuck in a karmic loop where they don't really believe that they can have love. But it doesn't mean that they don't have feelings for you, but it would never be able to evolve into the energy of unconditional love. It's that too low of a vibration because this person's on a low vibration. And you would wind up getting frustrated and hostile. This person's hostile now because you're not entertaining it, but you're like also like we're hostile for a long time because you're like, what is this? And it's like, and spirit says, yeah, because it's making you feel less than, where really you're not. Give yourself the emotional support that this person's not. And it's through that vehicle of becoming yourself, because then this person will have to, come in offering a lot more than what they had. And the spirit says, right now it's all about knowing your own inner beauty. So open your eyes and your heart and direct your gaze to the light within every being. Personally and physical appearance are in the image of man. Beauty and goodness are in the image of God. So Spirit says, always again, look at people through that lens, through again, their inner. And what we see is that this person doesn't love themselves. So they couldn't love you. It doesn't mean that they're not loved. Spirit saying, but you need to look at them again as if they are love. And even though they might not act like they're love, but they are love because this person's hurting. This person's, again, angry. They feel, and, there is this unconditional love. And during this time, what you really are learning is that love is unconditional because no one would choose to be with it in a connection with somebody that gets in their own way. It's again, it makes us feel, hey, that's I'm not deserving of love. And spirit says, and that is why you're a magnet of this person, because they shouldn't be able to make you feel that way. They were able to make you feel that way. That's why it was about pouring into yourself right now, getting strong. So when they come back, which I believe that one day they will, just not today and not tomorrow. So, I mean, who knows? Tomorrow we'll check in and this person might, have an epiphany all of a sudden, but not today. All right. I'm going to leave that there. You let me know how you resonated with this one, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.